say thanks for all of you for joining us today, and thanks for the Chamber for bringing us together in this manner at this time. And just for Jack's sake, I did have eggs this morning, and obviously we always have issues. So thanks for hosting. Amber Blake, our interim city manager, will join us with a quick update on city projects, but I want to take this moment to recognize the great leadership and service she has provided to council, staff, and our citizens. She inherited this collective pandemic issue and de-escalated public angst with confidence at almost every possible point in this 3-month journey. With that, I'd like to just recognize that it was 3 months ago, Friday, March 5th, I was in Denver, had just introduced Governor Polis as our lunch speaker at the Colorado Association of Ski Towns legislative meeting held every spring. At that point, his handler passed him a note informing him of the first case of COVID in the clinic in Frisco, Colorado. The mayor of Frisco was attending that meeting, and the lunch engagement was obviously cut short. Since then, Durango businesses carried the brunt of the impact for achieving the moderate level of positive COVID cases in our community. I thank you all for implementing the sometimes awkward or seemingly ill-timed orders from the governor. As Leanne Jolan of San Juan Basin Health would say, it's like flying an airplane while it's still being constructed. However, now we are reopening, and I hope that all of you can continue to maintain the requested measures and establish the culture of respect from your customers and clients, for your employees and your local customers, and our visitors benefit as they start to come back to Durango. The next 2 weeks is after the reopening will be critical to our ability to have a sustained recovery, as most of the models would show. Let's not lose the good work and sacrifices our businesses have endured during this short period. If sales tax revenues are an indicator, and they are, we have reason for some optimism. Some sectors have actually thrived while others have been forced to remain closed. And so we look forward to helping, or the city looks forward to helping the full component of our business community move into the rest of 2020. Thanks, and with that, I'll pass it off to Amber, who does maybe have a slideshow. Thanks.
Thank you, Dean. Jack, may I ask how much time I have left, please?
You would ask, let's see, you've got 8 minutes. You're fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Let's see if I can get this sucker to share. There we go. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you, Mayor Brookie, for your remarks. Today, I have a few items for the group before this Eggs and Issues on a State of the City address. I'd like to review projected revenue impacts on city budget, the operational impacts that we're experiencing due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a few of the orders that we've put into place as a city to assist with the recovery, an upcoming reconfiguration of Main Avenue, and a brief update on the Cbi investigation. The city of Durango, when the pandemic first began, reached out to a number of communities, reached out to a number of communities that are similar to Durango, both resort communities and communities that have similar factors. And in working with that group, we created a projection of sales tax revenues. And on this slide, I'm showing you the updated sales tax projection based on actuals here in the green. And this is the 3.5% sales tax based on the 2020 budgeted revenues. The actual numbers through March were looking great. We were spot on for January, February, and up 3% in March. Again, please note that these revenues reflect the previous month's sales. So in March, we started the closures due to the pandemic. So those sales are reflected in this April number. And the numbers came in at an actual of 11% down. We just received our May numbers for April sales. We had originally anticipated that this number here, the 15%, was going to be 70% down. And like Dean had mentioned earlier, we have a bit of optimism here with a 15% revenue reduction in our sales tax revenues. What this does is this helps us understand, based on these additional projections, which we have not yet amended, and we're sticking with our original proposed projection that we began with, but it takes us to a total overall revenue reduction of 22%. So if the decline is at 22%, this equals $4.3 million down in the general fund. And I guess I don't have the other slide. So not very good at this here. All right, so what does that mean? When we're looking at a decrease of $4+ million in the general fund and additional revenue decreases in the rest of our funds, their operational impacts will affect the community. Some of these impacts that we're experiencing to date is that our staff is on a 20% furlough. And this 20% furlough is primarily taking place on Fridays. We will have, once we're fully open and back in our facilities, continue to have closures of most city facilities on Fridays. City services that have been prioritized throughout the pandemic and continue to be prioritized are our essential services to the public, such as water, sewer, and trash, streets maintenance, transit, our airport, general government, and planning community development, as well as our other key essential services. Our library is open again for curbside service. And once these new orders come out on Thursday, we'll be beginning to look at how we can open the recreation facilities and programs. As many of you may know, the Lake Night Horse facility is open, and we will also be starting up our game time program for childcare this summer. We would like to give some sincere thanks to the 9R School District for continuing their childcare program, Kids Camp, through the month of June to assist our community members with childcare needs as we begin to reopen and get back into our facilities and start finding our way back to more normal way of business. Throughout the pandemic, we have implemented a number of orders to assist recovery. There are 4 orders that are currently in place that I think are important for this group and for the individuals listening to the Eggs and Issues presentations today. We have a sales tax deferral order, which it was basically immediately issued after we issued the emergency order. And this allows businesses, if they qualify, to defer sales tax for up to 90 days after the end of the emergency. The sign code relaxation order, we reduced the stringency of the sign code to allow for banners and temporary signage to be posted to help promote how businesses are conducting business and communicate with their clients. We have utility bill assistance order 2020-04. This defers any shutoffs and allows for no late fees with your utility bills, and it also helps us with setting up payment plans for individuals and businesses that cannot pay their utility bills at this point in time. And then finally, the other item that we currently have underway is a 25% parking modification for commerce on private property. So this item has businesses that, let's say, for example, up on North Main Avenue, if you had a restaurant that had a large parking lot, 25% of the required parking spaces can be used as commerce or places for your clients to eat, or you can sell your wares out in the parking spaces. The next order that we have coming up that we'll be talking about today is a use of right-of-way order along Main Avenue. Some details on the sales tax deferrals. If your business is in need of this, we're hoping that additional businesses will take advantage of this if it's helpful, but 49 requests for this deferral have taken place. 9 businesses that applied did not qualify for the order, and $50,000 total to date have been deferred. So the recovery efforts continue, and one of the items that the City of Durango is working closely with the Business Improvement District on is a reconfiguration of Main Avenue. And I'd like to take a moment to explain what that is. The lane reconfiguration will take the 4 travel lanes along Main Avenue down to 2 travel lanes, 1 in each direction, plus a center turn lane. And this will be implemented from College Drive all the way to approximately 13th Street. We are working closely with CDOT to coordinate with adjustments on the signal heads to ensure that there's safety for the vehicular traffic as well as at the crossing points for the pedestrians. And this reconfiguration of the lanes will allow for platforms to be installed in the parking stalls. Approximately 50 parking spaces will be reduced, and it will add several feet of additional space for commerce. So this will require repainting of the roadway and the signal modification that I just mentioned. And we feel comfortable with working with BID on this project and reducing the amount of on-street parking to increase the area for commerce with the increased vacancy rate of parking downtown, as well as the availability of off-street parking available at the transit center on East 2nd Avenue in the city parking lots. We've also worked with the 9R administration, and they're allowing for parking to occur in the parking lot adjacent to the 9R building. And La Plata County, thank you very much. Their parking lots are available to the public after 5 p.m. and that's both at the Schluter building and adjacent to the admin building on 11th at La Plata County. What this will do is we will require streamlined bistro program permits for businesses to be able to use the space, and we'll be waiving those fees. And until that area is ready for use, the bistro will be allowed to expand on the sidewalk as long as ADA access for pedestrian clearway is maintained. And this is critical because safety is a priority, and it's essential that we allow for the pedestrian travel and the travel of folks going up and down Main Avenue to conduct business. However, we do understand that with this public health crisis, it's something that we want to take advantage of is to increase the additional outdoor space for businesses. When it comes to liquor, this will be a little bit slower in the process, but the state liquor license has a separate process that the governor allowed for implementation of a modified premise. So for any businesses out there with the liquor license that would like to take advantage of this, there's a process both locally and we'll have to go through the state to get that approved as well. We're looking to roll this out this month, and if there's need and interest to expand to other areas, that would be the next phase of the process. And then the last item that I had mentioned that I will talk about this afternoon is our CBI investigation. Despite the pandemic, we are continuing to work with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation on the CBI investigation, and that is ongoing and has not had hiccups related to the pandemic. So we're hoping that at some point in the this year, we will be seeing conclusion of that investigation. So that is what I have. I have no idea how I did on time, but thank you very much, and I am looking forward to your questions.
Thank you.